Don't be nervous to homebrew monsters, because if you are constantly nervous to homebrew monsters and you don't want to homebrew monsters because you shy away from it, you think you're not gonna be good at it, you think you're gonna break the game or something like that. If you always feel that way and you use pre-written monsters or you use pre-generated things or other people do it for you in some way, but I would say this leans more towards pre-generated monsters. And if that's all you ever do, you aren't getting that feel of what it's like and where the homebrew falls apart. You have to homebrew, you have to try to create and make these tweaks so you can feel what those tweaks happen at the table. Like what happens to the, like I gave it an extra attack. How bad was that? Like how much more powerful was that than I thought? I gave it all the players have a +4 to hit. I gave this monster a +6 to hit. How bad is that, right? Like you can't feel the changes of your own homebrews if you don't start trying to homebrew. So don't be afraid to change the game, make the little tweaks, but then take note of them. You will not get better at homebrewing quicker if you just homebrew and then the fight happens and you're like, oh, that was crazy. Okay, guys, and then you homebrew again. No. Evaluate what you just did. Try and learn from your mistakes. Learn from your successes. All that kind of stuff. What worked, what didn't work. Whenever you started to make a homebrew process, I think about the armor class and what's their plus to hit. If they have a +5 to hit, and a 10 is about a 50-50 chance, 55%, whatever, then I could have it armor class be 15. That seems okay. But then what you can do a bunch of backwards math from there for what that feels right. So at their current level with their current modifiers, an armor class of 15 feels this certain way, right? And that's a very vague description, but that's kind of this skill that homebrewing is. It's an art, right? It's kind of a science and art. But I'd say probably more of an art. But then even then, I'm kind of going back and forth, contradicting myself, because there's so much math to it that I do, and then it's a feel thing. You know what I'm saying? But you have to feel your own homebrew so that you can know what it falls short from. Because if I okay, I'm going to give it an 18 armor class. That was way too high. They were missing all the time. It felt awful. Oh, maybe I want to do a glancing blow armor class, and then you can throw that in there, and you can find the different parts to homebrew. So you either homebrew the problems by changing the actual literal scales of attack or hit points or plus to hit or armor class, whatever, or you implement a homebrew to where you let the monster, instead of adding an extra attack, maybe it's one attack that it makes deals damage to 2 targets. Like, oh, that's interesting. So it only makes 1 roll. That speeds up combat. Ooh, that feels good. You know what I mean? So I would say whenever you make homebrews and make tweaks to generic stat blocks, every single monster that I put at the table, I make tweaks to every single one. Like I did it once and I haven't done it again. Ran a straight up normal stat block monster. Make tweaks, because every time you make tweaks, that is you getting better at homebrewing. That's you pushing yourself. You're gonna screw up. But then that's also where, and I need to make a video on this, you make changes on the fly to fix your screw ups or whatever. And that's a whole nother topic. But you will not get better at homebrewing unless you homebrew. So don't be afraid to homebrew out there, guys. Get your hands dirty, make some mistakes, learn from them, and then those successes, learn from those, write those down, think about your learn your homebrew style of how it works for you. I'm out. I have some big stuff going on over on my Patreon, so you guys should check out. I do monthly PDFs of 3 different PDFs every single month with different themes to it. I got point by feat system character creation, wild magic systems, magic tattoos, magic items, homebrew rules, entire cities, homebrew monster systems, and a whole bunch of subclasses every single month. I've loved the huge response I've gotten from you guys and how much you love this stuff, and I only want to make these things bigger and better. I'm trying to bring in a lot of people in on this. I got artists that are making custom art for these PDFs and everything. Each month's PDF sticks around for 2 months, so whenever you join, you get this month and the month before it, so it's a pretty sweet deal. So if any of that stuff sounds interesting, or you just want to help out and support what I do here to help me make more and more stuff to try and help more and more people, links down in the description.